Martijn Gaat and this is Does Logistics Matter? A podcast on trends and innovations in supply chain and logistics. Answering yes to the question today is Lars Heemskerk, founder and CEO of Augmex. In this episode, we talk about how Lars became the founder of a logistics tech company at the age of 17, how he convinced Google to make him an official Google Glass Solution provider. We also talk about technological innovations in logistics and how vision picking and augmented reality increases the efficiency of warehousing operations. Please enjoy my conversation with Lars Heemskerk. Lars, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Lars, my first question is always, does logistics matter?
Yeah, I think so. Just because every order that you place online, a logistics process, anything logistic will activate. So yeah, it does matter.
Good, then you're definitely on the right show. So how did a young guy like you end up in logistics?
So basically, I have a little background in logistics. So, for example, warehousing, order picking. I've started as an order picker myself when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. And afterwards, I started developing my own program. So I started developing when I was 12 years old. And then when I was 14 years old, I started developing websites. After a few years, I saw the Google Glass, and that's the point where I started developing for logistics companies and anything, any process like that.
So you have a warehousing experience. So as a logistics tech guy, what technological developments do you see in the warehouse?
So in the last few years, you really saw voice picking, so picking by voice commands as an upcoming trend in the order picking process. You see a lot of automation, so robotics, everything that's hot right now. But we think that pick by vision, picking with a smart glass, is a lot better than voice picking or robotics. So that's why we started developing our own solution, Augpick.
Yeah, so... and you showed me the operation here, and we're at Rijnsburg Flowers. So it was flowers and plants, which totally confused me because I don't know one from the other. And it was really nice. You gave me one of the Google Glasses, and there will be a video on logisticsmatter.com for people to see how that process goes. And it actually showed me among the other information, like which aisle I needed to be at and which cart and the name of the product that I needed to pick, it showed me pictures of the flowers. So that made the whole picking process very intuitive.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, that's exactly what we focus on, is to distinguish ourselves, to really get all the required knowledge in a order picking process and put everything in the smart glass. So make it people independent. So what I mean by that is that all the information that someone needs to perform in the order picking process, to pick orders, we put that in the smart glass. So whether you know everything about flowers or plants or not, you can always see what products you need to pick, which makes it a lot easier to start as a new employee or just keep the efficiency in the process.
Yeah, well, I did. You made me do an order run, and I can imagine that in terms of efficiency, there's a lot to gain. But that was pure in how you move or how you pick up something, where you place your cart or where an aisle is. But finding the right product, that went really fast.
Yeah.
So can we go a few steps back? Because you said you talked about developing, and with developing you mean software development.
Yeah.
And so you are 19, almost 20 years old. You're an entrepreneur. How did you start? So how old were you when you thought, like, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur?
So back when I was 14 years old, I started developing websites, like I said. And basically that was the moment when I registered myself as a legal business and started developing websites for companies here in the region of Rijnsburg in the Netherlands. But after a few years, I saw that the concept of developing websites wasn't really scalable, and that the key of running a successful business is that the concept itself is scalable. But also back in 2013, 2014, Google announced its first Google Glass. And I always was very curious about new tech, so I ordered one Google Glass, the actual beta project version, the consumer edition, and basically because of my background in warehousing and the order picking process, I started a small research project just to see what are the possibilities to start order picking or do any other process in the logistics with a smart glass. So after a few tests. So back then, the first Google Glass, it was a great product and it worked, but it wasn't really ready for the market yet, just because we stumbled across some hardware issues like battery getting hot or the battery life that wasn't long enough for a full shift. So that basically was the reason why we didn't continue developing with the first Google Glass. That took a long time until 2019, where Google announced the successor of the first Google Glass, the Glass Enterprise Edition, and that's based on the new Glass Enterprise platform that Google launched. So Glass is really a brand apart from Google itself. And back then in 2019, I ordered another Google Glass, so the new Enterprise Edition. I basically did the same tests as a few years ago, and I saw that everything that the first model didn't have, the new model it does have. So it was really ready for the market. So the battery life was a lot longer and everything. So that was really a reason for me to start further developing the entire concept and make it ready for market.
Yeah, and you said you tested out the first glass. Did you use existing software, or did you start with programming? Order picking software, warehouse management software. How would you call it?
Yeah, the version 1.0 of the entire order picking process, which we used for the Google Glass back in 2014, I wrote myself. So that was me programming the first version, and basically the same version we used for the new Glass Enterprise a few years later, with a little modifications, and but we did the same tests. So the results were much better than the first model.
Yeah, and this was in 2019.
2019, at the end of 2019.
Okay, so then you're 16, 17, and you call Google and you say, "Hey guys, I'm developing things with your glass." So how did that go?
Yeah, I saw that the Google Glass, the Glass Enterprise Edition, wasn't for sale publicly, which means that you need to be a solution partner by Google, an authorized partner, to sell and resell the new Glass Enterprise. So that was, it was necessary to contact Google to receive some Google glasses. So we've contacted them, and afterwards, they were they were quite keen to start a partnership about that, because they didn't have any partners in the Netherlands yet for the entire Glass Enterprise platform. So we were the first to sign up. And basically, we already had version 1.0 because we did develop that back in 2013. So
you had something to show them.
We had something to show them, indeed, and they were really keen to start the partnership. So I think it was between December 2019 and July 2020 where we did the fine-tuning of the entire concept, further developing the versions for the order picking process, make it ready for the market. And then in July 2020, we officially got announced as one of the global solution providers.
Yeah, great job. So can you explain a little bit about how such a Google Glass works in a warehousing environment. So what are the situations that it works really well at? So what are the strong points?
So basically, we increase productivity by wearing smart glasses in the order picking process.
Yeah.
That is because you have all the information you need always in front of you. So basically, we replace the picking lists that you work with before. We replace them with all the information you need from the picking list and put it in the smart glass and show you everything you need to do your job. And that's basically all you need to have your both hands free and create an efficient process. So we do a lot of validations. So we scan all the products, we scan the put locations if you need to put products in a cart for a specific customer. If you do multi-customer picking at once, then you also need to scan the crate of the barcode of the crate of the customer.
Yeah.
So you create a lot of validations in the process, a lot of personal support, and yeah, it's bilingual. So the entire onboarding process is a lot quicker.
Yeah, well, you say bilingual. I think it's even multilingual, right? I mean, it doesn't really matter what language you have. You can. I mean, for sure, you need to put the commands in. You need to tell the system what move to the next line is in Polish or in whatever language you want to use.
Yeah, at the end of the line, we support any language.
Yeah. So and you say scanning, and well, I first. Before I wore a Google Glass, and I did today, thank you, that was really cool. I thought like, well, how does it go? Do you have to blink with your eyes to scan something? But it's you connect the Google Glass to a finger scanner, which still keeps both your hands free. And you use the scanner to scan the barcode. And then the glass gives you a sound and the image goes green. And what I also found is that the information that you are looking for, it's not in front of you. So if you just look straight on, you can just walk, you can move around. And I found that you have to look slightly up to actually see all the information.
Yeah, that's right. All the information is there when you need it. And when you're just doing your job, you don't even really see the display of the glass.
No, you completely, it's so light that you forget that you're wearing it, but you also forget that there's information, and you just get really fast, you get used to looking at it when you need it.
Yeah.
And that was just for me, just like the first half hour. So that was yeah. And so for our listeners who didn't see the whole process as I experienced it, I'd like to walk through it, and please interrupt me or add any information that you think is useful.
Yeah, of course.
So well, it was actually as if so you actually like installed me as like a new employee. You gave me a badge. You gave me a finger scanner. You turned on the glasses, and I put them on, and I only had to tweak it was a little, I would say, plexiglass type cube.
Yeah, indeed. Officially it's a little prism that shows the display, and that you can twist around to align the display in front of your eyes so you can see everything clearly.
Yeah, so you have a little bit of room to move the display to a spot where you find it.
From left to right and not upwards or downwards, just because the device really, the display needs to be a little bit above your right eye, just so it doesn't get in the way of your normal process.
Especially in logistics environment, it's extremely important because safety is an issue. There's forklifts, there's robots, things moving around. So
yeah, indeed, you can compare it with like a head-up display in your car. It's really safe, and you only look when you need your information.
Yeah.
and otherwise it isn't there, and you just have your eyes on the road.
Yeah. So without any training, you put the glasses on me, you put the scanner on my finger, and you turned it on, and you didn't even say anything. And you said, "What does it say?" And it said, take one card.
Yeah, indeed. So it pushes the orders to the smart glass itself, so you don't have to activate anything yourself. Now you retrieve all the orders, and step by step, every pick you do will be you will be assisted by the smart glass. So when you get your first pick of a new order, you will see a screen with grab a new trolley, and then afterwards, when you tap the device once, you will see all the picking information. So you will see the information of your first product. That's like the picture, the location, any product information you need. The information that you see in the display, it varies from one customer to another based on the customer's needs.
Yeah, so you had me picking with flowers and plants, and how they look is very important because it's very visual. And I was in aisles with 10 or 12 different flowers, so it really helps if you have a picture of the flower. And there was a picture of the flower or the plant that I needed to pick was in the image, so it was really easy for me. And of course, there's an aisle number, there's a card number, and there's the name of the product. But what helped me the most is picking the right goods was the picture.
Yeah, indeed, because it's reduces the searching time when you're on location. So you already get a visual representation of the product that you need to pick. So that's a lot faster.
Yeah, and I found out there also how useful and how important the finger scanner is, because I was at one cart that had two sorts of, for me, it were the same flowers. They were both pink, but they were not the same. And I scanned one, and immediately I heard and I saw a flash of red in the display. And I scanned another one, and it gave me the correct signal, and I knew that was the one that I needed to pick. So
you always get immediate feedback, and that generates a huge efficiency boost for the onboarding process.
Yeah, it's a very high picking accuracy, even for people that do not yet have any experience with the products that they are picking.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. So these were very clear. These were flowers and plants. But if I think of a regular warehouse, it's just cardboard boxes. Some may have a color or some may have a logo, but it's boxes, boxes, boxes. So what do you do then?
So every layout that you see in the display of the smart glass, it varies based on the customer's needs, like I said. So it depends on what the customer finds important to see as an order picker himself. So here in the flower industry, it's could be really helpful to show you the image of the flower itself. Yeah. But indeed, when you're in a traditional warehouse, it always is in cardboard boxes or anything like that. Then we can adapt the display completely, and for example, highlight the location or any information that the customer has to identify the product on the location. We can push it in the smart glass. We can even create a little grid, a layout grid on the smart glass, which shows you where exactly on the location you need to look for the product.
So if there's 5 shelves, this product is stored on shelf number 4, and then I can clearly see it so that I don't have to count or anything, but you can intuitively see that's that. Okay. Yeah. Great. And that's what you mean by the different information. So for some, it may be a serial number that's really important. Then the serial number is in the picture. But if that's less important, serial number is not on there. And it's just the location and the number of goods you have to pick.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay, so I picked my order, and every time that I scanned correctly, the screen went green, and I put it on the cart, and it immediately sent me to the next location, which worked great. And then at the end, it told me you're done, and it told me told me where to put the cart. So we put the cart away, and it said go pick a new cart. And I was happy that you stopped me there, because otherwise I think I would probably be still in the warehouse picking plow. I was actually having fun, so you stopped me there. And then.
So the process you've experienced here yourself was relatively simple. We can adapt to any customer's needs. Let's say speech recognition. Here in the flowers, you only pick 1 or 2 or 3 amounts of one product, and then you scan every product to really get the validation that we've picked the right quantities of the right product.
Yeah.
But when we need to pick 40 times a product, we're not going to scan 40 times the same product.
No.
That's not efficient. It doesn't really generate a time boost, a time efficiency boost. So then we apply speech recognition. We've built in speech recognition into the smart glass, and that basically we scan the product once, so we know that you're picking the right product, and then we can tell the system how much we picked by telling him 40 okay or anything like that. We could also do that multilingual, which means that we are connected to the standard Google Translate system and can recognize any language.
Great. Are there other functionalities that I didn't experience that you can add to this Google Glass in the logistics environment?
Yeah, it is a very flexible solution. So every customer has a different order picking process. So we really, it's kind of a tailor-made solution for. We always get into a little project of configuration for a new customer. So an example is the augmented reality using, so highlighting the product itself when I'm on location, or guiding the employee through the warehouse.
So is that really? So I walk up to a shelving system. I walk up to the shelving system, and the glass literally tells me which box to pick?
Indeed.
You will see in that level of detail.
Yeah, you will see your camera view of the smart glass. There's a little camera on the device itself with the product that needs to be picked highlighted, and that we can do that by marker-based augmented reality. And then we need to put a marker on every location in the warehouse, but we can also do that with location-based augmented reality, and that means that we basically apply ultra-wideband positioning inside the warehouse environment to know with an accuracy of about 5 centimeters where an employee is in the warehouse.
Wow!
And then we can guide him through to the location that he needs to go. By placing arrows in the display order of the smart glass, or letting him know that he needs to turn left or right or anything like that. So with huge warehouses, that can be beneficial as well.
Yeah, definitely. I can imagine that these glasses and the augmented reality and the camera, that can be useful in logistics related areas as well, like service logistics.
Yeah, indeed. We do a lot of tailor-made projects, tailor-made solutions. Example is for Bitfood. Bitfood is a wholesale company for restaurants, cafes, anything like that. Mm-hmm. And what they do is with a smart glass, they check the outgoing goods. So when everything is picked, all the picked trolleys are ready for transport. The user walks by in the aisle and he looks at the products, at all the carts that are ready for transport, and the glass tells you when there is a product that is not on a valid location or anything.
And it recognizes the product, or it scans it scans QR codes?
QR codes.
Okay.
We could also do OCR, optical character recognition, but barcodes are always a little bit more safe.
So, and I can imagine that the efficiency gain there is that it takes an employee quite some time to look where the barcode is and to scan it. But a Google Glass it's a matter of I don't know, it's probably not even a matter of seconds for it to recognize.
Now every
barcodes.
frame is validated to see if there's a barcode in it, and usually it takes around 20 milliseconds to get a response from that frame. So yeah, it's like a live video of the camera that's on the smart glass, and that basically validates the video imagery to see if there is a barcode, and then get the result out of that.
Yeah. So you say live feed, and that made me think of one of the things that you were telling me while you were showing me how to pick the orders, and that is that your Google Glass is also really handy for mechanics in the field. So how does that work?
Yes, indeed. So our main goal, our core business, is to create worker assistive technologies with smart glasses. So we have Augpick, which is the order picking solution that I let you experience today. But we also have AugAssist, and AugAssist is a remote support solution. So that's a video calling with a smart glass on your head. And you can have support from anywhere around the world within a few seconds, and you have your both hands free to do everything that you need, and the one that's the person that's on the other side of the world can look with you in the same direction.
Yeah. Okay. So you're at an engine, and you don't have to call the specialist from the company for that single part, but you can make a video connection. And the specialist who knows everything about that part can actually potentially see a problem and tell a person what to do and how to repair things.
Yeah, indeed. So an example of that is our customer locomotive workshop Rotterdam. They work on locomotives, and a locomotive is almost like an airplane. For every different part, you need a different license, a different certificate. So they do a lot of importing the knowledge of other companies around the world. So basically, when they come across an issue that they can solve themselves, they put on a smart glass in the workshop and invite another specialist with the expertise that is required to work on that part of the locomotive. And then the person can remotely guide the worker in the workshop in Rotterdam to perform tasks, do any repair or anything like that.
Oh, that's a huge efficiency gain.
Yeah, no traveling costs.
Thank you, Lars. Thank you for showing me the product, and I found it really exciting to have a piece of technology like that and experience how that was. So if listeners that are thinking about implementing this type of vision picking in their logistics operations, if these listeners want to have the same experience that I had, is that possible?
Yeah, they can have exactly the same experience as you had today. They just need to call or send an email, and we'll invite them at one of our customers' warehouse, and then they can experience it themselves, because it is really a technology that you need to experience, because you need to see what it's like to look through a smart glass instead of looking at a handheld scanner or anything.
You need to see it. It's an excellent conclusion,
Yeah.
Lars. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Does Logistics Matter? For more on trends and innovations in supply chain and logistics, visit our blog on logisticsmatter.com. If you want to be a guest on this podcast, please send an email to podcast@logisticsmatter.com or send me a message via LinkedIn. This podcast was produced by Dimitry VleugelThe. The music is based on a sample by Ragaman and produced by Michael Spengler. This episode was supported by Augmex. Augmex develops augmented reality solutions for companies to reduce errors and increase flexibility among employees using Google Glass. For more information, visit augmex.com. That's AUGMEX.com.